Welcome everyone to Compliance Weekly, 1st of August 2023. Let's walk through the milestone board first. The last one that we discussed was SAML SSO authentication. Nate, the next one is on you. Update, audit event, streaming docs.
Yeah.
The screen is not shared.
Oh, give me a minute.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about though. Yes, this was done in conjunction with Hasima and Evan. So we spent, I think there's about 5 MRs in this issue to completely overhaul the audit event streaming docs, which is a great achievement. So thanks everyone.
Next one is with Aaron, and it's add event type information for audit events using audit event service and user. I think it would be related to the using auditor.audit. Huzafa?
Yeah, so this, yep. So monitoring the Kavana logs to catch audit events without a YAML file. I've been monitoring this for a month now, and finally we closed it because we were not getting any new audit events without a YAML for more than 15 days. We also created a subsequent MR for actually raising an error whenever a new audit event is added and the associated YAML file is not added to it. Coincidentally, an MR was created yesterday. Hitesh created an MR, and we actually saw that the pipeline failed. So I think it's working fine. So good job, everyone.
Nate, add name field to streaming audit events.
Yes, so there is now a name field on streaming audit events, so users can name them, and it shows up as under that name in the accordion. So it just allows users to better organize their audit event streaming destinations.
The next one is okay. Yeah. So this is the one I was talking about. So whenever a new, whenever someone tries to audit a new event without a YAML file, we'll be raising an exception from the code base. So this will prevent developers from adding a new audit event without a YAML file. So it streamlines things for us. The next one is also on me. So we, since the audit events are now mature enough and we have a generic approach on how to add a new event. So we also updated the feature issue template to actually ask a simple question like, does this feature require an audit event? So that we don't have to get, like, once the feature is completed, we don't have to get back and see, like, do we even need an audit event for this? So during the planning stage, the product managers and the developers can see if we need an audit event for that particular feature. So yeah. I think we should also probably broadcast this somewhere, like in the engineering channel, or maybe so that also the product team is also aware. Like they should think if for every new feature, they should think if an audit event is required, so that we don't increase the gaps.
Add it to the engineering weekend review, maybe.
Yeah, I think we can add to that. But I was also thinking if maybe post in the product channel. Not sure if it's allowed, or probably the product managers. Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, if you post it into the engineering weekend review, and then I can paste it over there.
Yeah, cool. Sure. Okay, the next one is also on me. So this was we wanted to create a doc for listing all the available audit events that we have, so that users can see like what that particular event name means, and they can use that to add as a filter in the streaming destinations. So the tricky thing was not to create a doc which has to be created manually. So this is an automated doc. You just have to run the rake and the entire documentation is generated. So whenever a new event is created and someone misses to add that to documentation, the pipeline will fail and ask the author to actually push the documentation changes as well. So this is similar to the GraphQL documentation that we have right now.
Nick, add a section in admin settings, for instance, filtering.
Yes. Yes, so off the back of last milestone adding the instance level streaming, we now have got filtering by audit event types with the nice defined drop down like we do at the group level, and searching, filtering, all that good stuff. So yeah.
The next one is on me. I have added audit events for creation and deletion of event filters for instance level audit event destinations. So there was this bug which got introduced because of the project destroyed audit event refactoring with it that I did, and so because of that, the instance audit events page was giving error if a project belonging to user namespace is deleted. So there was this MR created by Michael, who was which was actually catching that error, and one another MR I have created for fixing that error. The root cause was that the scope of the audit event was not user but user namespace. So there's one thought that I had regarding this, that should we put some kind of a strict check in while creating audit events that the scope should be user, group, project, or instance scope, so that such kind of things never happen in future.
Yeah, I think we can have that in the auditor class, checking the scope and raising an error if it doesn't belong to any of these.
Okay.
Can someone create an issue for that? A follow-up issue?
Yeah, I'll create one.
Thank
And
you.
we can also club the same issue for actually updating the documentation, I guess, which was pending since a long time. I guess I pinged you, Hitesh, like when we added a new scope for the instance.
Yeah. I have added created an issue for that and working on it. So anything else needs to be discussed over here? Anything with logged status? Okay. Moving on with the planning issue. Nate, should we consider this one?
Yes, yeah, if you just go through that.
Okay. Josefa.
Yep. So the goal for this milestone is to implement 2 more checks in the adherence report. I have created one MR, and that is in maintainer review right now with Persimer. And once that is merged, I'll be creating an MR for the next check.
On
the
UI
side, I guess the basic structure was in place last milestone, and this milestone, Jay was working on integrating the GraphQL API on the front end so that it displays the correct data in the database and not the mocked data. I'm not sure where it is right now.
I think that's in final maintainer review, so should be emerging shortly.
That's nice.
Embedded instance. So there are several. Yeah, Josefa, you are saying something? Mostly follow-up MRs as well as some documentation are pending in this, along with adding name to. No, that's not part of that. So yeah, some minor changes are pending in this epic. Nick? Streamed audit.
Yeah, so we have the name field done, as you saw, has been released. The next thing is to try to do the filtering by project in the API, but I think this is more of a stretch goal on it. So yeah, that will probably roll over to 16.4, but we'll keep on it.
Josefa.
So this
Integrate
milestone,
with-
yeah, this milestone we wanted to integrate with Snowflake. I started reading their documentation, but unfortunately, it seems like the Snowflake Snowpipe streaming API is relatively a new feature released this March, and it's still a preview feature, and they only have a Java SDK for integration. They don't have a REST API for it, and they also don't have any other SDKs. So probably it's not a straightforward thing to implement, and we can keep this as blocked. Yeah, I'll be posting a comment on the issue itself with all the findings.
Arsiman.
Yeah, so for this, we have completed the query analysis. Right now, we have a issue for production readiness, which we're going to do in 16.4. There again, we will be doing some query analysis to find out what kind of infra we will need. But for the 16.3 part, we have done it.
Huzafa.
Yep. So on this one, I guess most of the issues are closed. The feature flag is also rolled out globally. The only thing left is to close the feature flag issue, because I'm planning to clean the feature flag in the next milestone, so we can just leave the feature flag, close the feature flag issue and the epic itself. So this is on track.
Sam.
Yes. Yeah, the original status doesn't fit anymore technically. The export was flagged on from the DB team, and I'll need to rework it. I'm going to give it like to the end of the week to try to come with something shippable. And if that doesn't work out, I'm going to let it roll over to the next milestone.
Arsiman.
Yeah, for this one, currently there is a MR which is doing backfilling of the data, which is in review right now. Once that is merged, I will be able to work on further issues. There is an update here that one of the issues is now shifted to 16.4 because we are doing backfilling in this milestone. So goal would change for 16.3. I would add the comment and then update it.
Sam.
Yeah, started this like last week before I got sick. I'll be continuing on this. I've made a little bit of progress, but not much yet.
Related to this, I started working on one of the issues and have created one Emma. Found out that there were already audit events present for user-based events. Just we had to add some additional information in them. I don't think we have Mark and Cam in there. Now coming to OKR updates. Josefa.
Yep. So we closed the OKR to ensure compliance of audit event names. I closed the KR. Yeah, nice work, everyone. Special thanks to Harsimer. He created a lot of scripts to actually find out the events which had missing YAMLs.
Yeah, I wanted to second that. Sorry, just quickly. I think there's a huge accomplishment to get this done. It was half in progress when I first came to GitLab, and I think, as I put in the thing, it's about 231 wait, 212 issues, and 3 sub epics. So huge amount of effort from everyone. Thank you.
Related to the progress of OKR for complete filtering of stream audit events, the progress is updated to 91%, and I have left it to Jade to close OKR. Hasim.
Yeah, so last week we completed the POC for ClickHouse and I've closed that MR now and currently working on a query builder which will help us to generate SQL queries. So I have updated the OKR progress to 90%.
Now to questions. Nate?
Yeah, so the first one was just an FYI. So congrats to Mark on a 4-year anniversary, huge milestone. Great to have him part of this team, although not in this time zone. And then next was another FYI, so it's just the last week to add your thoughts to the retro issue. Please remember to have a look as we are reviewing the milestone plan goals against what actually happened now. So it's just a great way for us to check in with how we went at the end of each milestone.
I think there is the second weekly of the milestone, and we need to review the product dashboard. Should I stop the recording before that, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay,
Please.
okay. Let's review everyone.